Rachael Ray built a whole career on being disarmingly real, chatty, clever, and fearless about shortcuts that made dinner feel doable. She took the panic out of weeknights, turned 30-minute meals into a lifestyle, and invited viewers to stand beside her stove as if they'd dropped by after work. But that sunshine came with weather. Behind the cheerful cadence and the sprawling brand sat a marriage that fans alternately praised as rock solid and dismissed as tabloid tinder. Rachael and John Cusimano, lawyer, rocker, and the man mixing cocktails just off camera while she plated pasta on air. For nearly 2 decades, they've been analyzed, second-guessed, and rumored about. The fuller story, messier and more human, lands somewhere between the headlines. Rachael Domenica Ray was born August 25, 1968, in Glens Falls, New York, and grew up in Lake George. Her mother, Elsa, ran restaurants. Her father, Jim, brought French, Scottish, and Welsh roots to the family mix. By high school, she was stocking shelves and selling donuts at Sutton's Marketplace, where she even filmed a local commercial. New York City beckoned after graduation. Macy's candy counter. Then the specialty shop Agatha and Valentina. When corporate extras crept into the job description at Macy's, she walked. Back upstate, she managed a restaurant at the Sagamore, then joined the gourmet market Cowan and Lobel in Albany, where a simple pitch, 30-minute meals classes, caught fire. Local CBS segments followed, then a first cookbook, then in 2001 the Food Network said yes. Viewers said yes louder. The same year her TV run began, a friend's birthday party rewired her private life. John Cusimano, a music-obsessed New Yorker who'd chosen law school over Berkeley, struck up a conversation that started with food and ended around 4 in the morning. Rachael initially assumed he was gay and tried to matchmake. He laughed, corrected her, and called the next day. He kept calling. By the early 2000s, he was an entertainment lawyer by day and frontman of the rock band The Cringe by night, a useful blend of contracts and creativity for someone building a media brand. Rachael would later joke that marrying an entertainment lawyer saved her a fortune. The punchline hit a truth. Her rise needed both recipes and risk management. They married in September 2005 at Castello di Vallona in Tuscany, an intimate, stylish ceremony that set the tone for how they'd weather fame. High romance, private core. 10 years later, they renewed their vows at the same castle. Rachael read All the Whiskey in Heaven, promising she'd choose him under any circumstance. Professionally, she had leapt to daytime with the syndicated Rachael Ray Show in 2006, while John kept gigging and quietly expanded his role as a back-office protector. Contracts, licensing, guardrails. On screen, viewers got the signature laugh, the pantry hacks, and EVOO. Off-screen, a marriage formed around 2 people who could both hold a stage and handle a spreadsheet. Fame's light is flattering and forensic. From the start, gossip outlets circled. Early tabloid items alleged infidelity and other lurid behavior. Both Rachael and John rejected the claims, and his lawyers reportedly prepared to sue over some of it. In 2013, the National Enquirer ran a sensational swingers club story. Their camp called it false. The problem with smoke is that people remember it even when there is no fire. Rachael addressed the chatter on air with a shrug and a boundary. Gossip hurts families. She asked viewers not to feed it. Rumor didn't vanish, but it lost heat. Inside the marriage, they never pretended to be placid. Rachael has described their dynamic as intense and loud. 2 Type A New Yorkers who argue hard and love hard. On her 2024 podcast, I'll Sleep When I'm Dead, she said they'd never had a peaceful moment, then laughed. That volatility, she insisted, is their language. To some, the candor humanized them. To others, it confirmed the headline, fog. They answered in the only way a long partnership can, by continuing. Vows renewed, dinners cooked, cocktails poured, projects launched. Rachel's ascent drew backlash of its own. Purists clucked that 30 minutes ignored prep. Catchphrases, "Evu" among them, were mocked as unserious. In one of food media's favorite feuds, Anthony Bourdain needled her for popularizing shortcuts. Martha Stewart quipped about her baking. The New York Times once implied heavy help from collaborators on her books. She countered that the recipes were hers, even if teams helped wrangle the work. She also took heat for a measured defense of colleague Mario Batali during his scandal, noting he'd always treated her respectfully. Many felt the moment called for more distance. None of it stopped the output. Shows, magazines, cookware, a pet food line, and an ever-tightening grip on the middle of American kitchens. John, meanwhile, wasn't just arm candy with a guitar. He left law to become Rachel's in-house consigliere, negotiating deals, policing contracts, and functioning as a one-man risk unit. On camera, he played bar chef to her cook, shaking "Lost in the Woods" or topping off Prosecco as she plated. Off-camera, he handled the dull stuff that keeps empires solvent. The division of labor worked. She scaled, he shielded. The more ubiquitous she became, the more the contrast between on-screen charm and backstage grind invited scrutiny. Studio audience stories, some glowing, some not, circulated online. Fans debated whether the off-air Rachel seemed exhausted or prickly. Others pointed out that 5-day taping schedules and relentless expectations wear anyone down. Both things can be true. A gifted host who is also a human being. Life added bruises that had nothing to do with ratings. In 2013, a family death near her upstate home led to painful intra-family tension and tabloid oxygen. Accounts differ, and the grief was private. That same year, she pressed on with work. Long before, in the 1990s, she'd been mugged twice in 1 week in New York. Frights she's mentioned with the gallows humor of a city lifer. In 2008, throat surgery removed a benign cyst after the gravel in her voice sparked internet rumor. She was fine. Then, a decade later, came the catastrophes no PR plan can manage. In 2020, her Adirondack home burned down, erasing rooms and memories. In 2021, remnants were walloped again by Hurricane Ida. Rebuild, repeat. Through it all, John was there, less a headline than a constant. The career kept evolving. After 17 seasons, Rachael ended her daytime show in 2023 and launched the production outfit Free Food Studios, trading 5 days a week taping for creator control. The podcast gave her a looser, saltier venue to talk shop and life. Unsurprisingly, marriage questions came up. She didn't sermonize. She described reality. They argue. They make up. They cook and pour and laugh and start again. In August 2024, John posted a birthday note calling her his forever love and forever home. A week later, she celebrated his 58th with photos of their rescue dog and a caption that sounded like 2 decades of inside jokes. Tuscany remains their touchstone. New York remains their rhythm. Of course, the internet doesn't do truces. Did he? Did she? The questions recur because rumor has no memory for denials. What you can say with certainty is simpler. 2 people met in a noisy room and talked until morning. They built a life that blended art and paperwork, basil and bitters, syndication, and set lists. They endured the ritual humiliations of fame, the snark, the surveillance, the certainty of strangers. They buried family members. They lost a house and rebuilt a home. They fought like New Yorkers and then remembered to eat. The arc of Rachael Ray's public life, scrappy local teacher to Food Network, regular to daytime mainstay to independent producer, tracks a familiar American line. Take what you know, package it honestly, over-deliver. She never pretended to be a Michelin chef. She was the friend who got you fed between homework and bedtime. That accessibility carried a cost, being told loudly that accessibility isn't serious. It also carried a payoff. Millions of dinners, confident home cooks, an approachable standard that says, good enough can still be joyful. As for John Cusimano, the public will keep toggling between caricatures, groupie, fixer, heel, hero, because those are the cutouts celebrity culture provides. The person described by people who know them looks less meme-ready, an entertainment lawyer who traded billables for brand stewardship, a gigging musician who never gave up the stage, a husband who became a cocktail folklorist in his own kitchen, and, yes, the guy who became a magnet for rumors he denies. He's still pouring, she's still cooking. The daily evidence of their arrangement is stubbornly ordinary. If you want a clean moral, here's the closest thing. Longevity is built in the unphotographed hours. The bowls washed after midnight. The contract addendum no one ever sees. The mornings after a fight when someone still chops the onions and someone else still measures the gin. Public life confuses noise with truth. Private life runs on small, faithful repetitions. Rachael Ray and John Cusimano have spent close to 20 years repeating themselves on purpose. What side you land on, resilient love story or relationship permanently shadowed by doubt, probably says more about your appetite for ambiguity than about them. What's plain is that the brand called Rachael Ray is, beneath the slogans and sponsorships, still a kitchen table. At that table sit two people who have stayed put through boom times, bad press, house fires, hurricanes, surgeries, and 1,000 dinners that never made television. Maybe that's the simplest read. Maybe it's enough. Got thoughts about their story, or a Rachael recipe that became your weeknight staple? Share it in the comments. If this gave you something real to chew on, tap like, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories.